This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Thank you. My dear Afama, we have few minutes here and I hope you give me a yes or no. Have you stated a timeline?
Panel of judges, we've clearly told
I
them
have
that
said
we had
a yes
6
or
years
no.
studying
Excuse
marijuana
me,
and we
please.
found its
I have
effectiveness.
said a yes or no.
Do you need to have a time frame to have
Okay,
the food
the
in
next
front of
question.
the table?
Which disease is cured by marijuana?
Panel of judges, we gave them
Yes
a number
or
of diseases
no?
that are cured by marijuana.
Yes
we told
or
them
no?
cancer, we told them
Next
diabetes,
question.
we told them that it
Why,
reduces tonic pain.
why is marijuana, hasn't there been sensitization on marijuana? Yes or no? We have few minutes here, my dear. Yes or
Pardon?
no? Hasn't there been sensitization on marijuana?
Panel of judges, it has been
Can
there,
the
but it is
health-
not in its legal
Excuse
form.
me, if
That's
you
why
can't
we
say
are
yes or no, you
legislating
rather keep quiet
marijuana.
here because I ask that you respect me. Can the health of a human be compared to that of an animal?
Panel of judges,
Okay, next
that's why
question.
we have to refine
I
our
think, panel, you
marijuana
see-
before taking it, giving it
Excuse
to
me.
our patients.
Excuse me, I think you can take to note that she's trying to waste my time here. Okay, which toxic substances are you eliminating from marijuana?
It's THC.
Okay, take your seat, please. Take your seat. Thank you so much. I remember you asking a question. Is it bad to love something that is important to your life? I also have a question here. How can you love, by the way, it isn't a question, it is an explanation to you. You cannot love something where you know it is bringing harm to your life. So try to understand that. Which disease is cured by marijuana? No disease is cured by marijuana, my dear judges, because it is only controlling the symptoms, it is only reducing on the pain, it isn't curing any disease. And yes, it is causing diseases. Let us also look at, can you compare the health of a human to that of an animal? You are talking about these drugs, the marijuana drugs treating humans and also animals. Let me tell you, it can never be the same because maybe the animals won't be affected, but the humans will be affected because we have already shown you there will be mental disorders, there will be more health risks that we'll be taking by legalizing marijuana in the country. You have also not given us a timeline, so which means you are not ready. You are not ready, my dear Afamas, to even implement it. How can you even say that the National Drug Authority, that it will implement the penalties? Will it arrest people, my dear judges? It will put there the penalties, but will they be there for decoration? Who will arrest these people that are abusing the marijuana? Who will it? I want you to understand this. I also asked you a question. Which toxic substances are you eliminating from marijuana? They didn't tell us any, my dear judges, I think. They didn't. And so, if you are not eliminating the toxic substances, it means you are leaving the patients to be affected, which means they will become sick, they will become addicted to these drugs, even when they are cured from this disease that you are trying to treat. Because anyway, you are not curing it. When the pain is relieved, now they are addicted. After becoming addicts, now we are taking people to Butabika because they have gone mad. They are now mentally ill because you are treating them with marijuana. So try to understand us today, dear judges, that we need to ban these marijuana drugs from the country. We need to ban them completely. Because why are we taking a health risk? Are we treating people, or are we trying to make them get sick even the more? And so that is why, my dear judges, today we are trying to look at if we legalize marijuana drugs, what will it help? It will help nothing. It will only cause problems. And so today, my dear judges, I believe that we can look at other methods, we can look at other alternatives of treating the symptoms related to the diseases that you're trying to treat with marijuana. Let us look at the cover, which they have shown you. It will help to reduce on the nausea in patients. And with that, we stand to end today's debate. Thank you.
Marijuana should be legalized for medicinal purposes. I am Ebo Cynthia from the affirmative side. First question to the negative side. Do you believe that there is the study of the effects of the very drug before legislation?
No.
Thank you. Are you aware of the marijuana's disadvantages?
Yes.
Would you support drug abuse?
No.
Is the Ministry of Health in concern of your health?
Yes.
Do you believe that marijuana can be used for medicinal purposes?
No.
Do you believe that that removing all the toxins from marijuana can lead to its inefficiency?
Pardon?
Do you believe that taking all the toxins from marijuana can make it inefficient?
No.
Thank you, panel of judges. You can have your seat. Our first question, panel of judges, has been clearly answered. Panel of judges, we gave them statistics that in 2017, after petition was nullified 6 years down the road, we've discovered a drug that can help in suppressing diseases. We gave them the diseases that this drug can suppress. We asked them that do they believe that there has been, they say that there is no study of this drug, panel of judges, to inform the negative side that before every drug has been put in place, panel of judges, it's studied. And panel of judges, we told them in our first speech that the Ministry of Health plus the National Drug Authority, we are going to legalize marijuana. And we also told them that it has been proven by a statement released by the National Institute of Health to be that marijuana is able to prevent and cure different diseases, panel of judges. So why not use a cure that we found, panel of judges? Why not use this chance? We would like to inform the affirmative team, panel of judges, a plate of food has been put in front of you. How would you react, panel of judges, and yet you're very hungry? You would eat all the food. Even if a contamination has happened, you put away the contamination and use the good part. Panel of judges, the third speaker talked about addiction, and we asked them, is it important to love something important to your life? Panel of judges, they said it is important to love something, to get addicted to something. But panel of judges, why not get addicted to something that will help our lives? We are getting addicted to something that is going to improve our lives. Panel of judges, we asked them, do they believe that marijuana can be used for medical purposes? They said no. But throughout their speeches, they said that marijuana has a number of disadvantages and very few advantages. If they are aware of the disadvantages, as responsible citizens, we are sure that the negative team will not go for the bad side. In fact, they will look at the positive side of marijuana as they already know and as they are informed, panel of judges, since they know the disadvantages of marijuana. We asked them, is the Ministry of Health in concern for your health? They said yes, the Ministry of Health is in concern for their health. So panel of judges, if something that is in concern of your health has told you that this drug will help you to do this, this, and that, why not take it, panel of judges, if you are sure and entrusted this ministry? Panel of judges, as the negative team, we showed you, as the affirmative team, we showed you how effective marijuana is going to be, and we showed you how reliable it is. That they're implying that marijuana is not useful and it's very disadvantageous. But panel of judges, how effective is ginger? How effective is turmeric to our health, panel of judges, compared to this marijuana? They're telling us that we shouldn't compare animals to our health. Panel of judges, as the National Drug Authority, we know what we shall give the animals, and we know what you're going to give to our people. That's why we are using the National Drug Authority, panel of judges. We are going to sensitize, panel of judges, as the negative team. We rest. As the affirmative team, we rest our case.
Debaters, thank you for a good and spirited rounds of debate. I thank you also for improving upon the shortfalls that you have noticed in previous rounds. I will go straight to my reactions on the debate. Number one, from my understanding, Team Affirmative's case was through the institution of multiple frameworks, multiple regulations that enable and make sure that the effective usage of marijuana for medicinal purposes is not abused. Team Negative, on the other hand, concentrated mainly on their strategy of banning the entire usage of marijuana and stipulating the various risks or shortfalls that come with marijuana usage. Now, Team Affirmative's case came with 1, regulation, 2, licensing, and 3, legislation. Here is where I saw the first big thing that happened that burdened either team. Team Negative. Team Affirmative's world is a world where the Drugs and Narcotic Substances Bill has already been drafted. In their world, effective research has already been carried out. In fact, the research is so effective that Parliament has passed the legislation. And the legislation is merely awaiting presidential assent to become binding law. Therefore, failure to clash on their world and maybe drag their parameter out of Uganda, whereby it can be existent as a world as Africa, where we have not yet achieved maybe an omnibus bill adopted by the AU convention or something like that. In that aspect, therefore, their strategy trumps yours. Because many of the questions you pose, they simply tell you the research has been carried out and it is so effective, it has passed the test of a parliamentary committee of assent.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I want to begin by appreciating both teams, both Team Affirmative and Team Negative. I really appreciate on the fact that most of you were able to identify the specific resolution that was before you, and you were able to identify the leading word that was in this resolution for today. Legality. The main or the subject matter of this resolution was on legality of marijuana. Meaning, Team Affirmative had to advocate for the legality of marijuana because of its merits. And therefore, Team Negative was meant to advocate for the illegality of marijuana because of its demerits, which both teams did. And I appreciate you for that. Secondly, I want to appreciate in person Speaker number 1 from Team Affirmative and Speaker number 4 from Team Negative. I think all I can say is that both speakers, the first speaker from Team Affirmative and the fourth speaker from Team Negative, you understood the assignment of what you are meant to do. However, as it was clearly highlighted yesterday, speaker roles never shift and are not inherent. What do I mean? For example, when they get a number 4, you come and question on the admissibility and the jurisdiction or the powers that the National Drug Authority has in the closing speech, which we expect from the getter number 1 to come and question on the same. It's really never put on record. What do I mean? If Team Affirmative talks about the National Drug Authority of going ahead to arrest and imprison people that are abusing marijuana, we don't expect a counter argument to come from negator number 4. By virtue that there is negator number 1 on the team, these are some of the things you're even meant to give before you got your qualitative points. First, question the policy, question the body or the organ that I've given, and then question the time frame, if any. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, whenever there is a policy resolution that is before you, and then you feel as a team you are advocating for something, which thing you're advocating for, at the end of the day, they are short-term demerits or long-term demerits. It means now the burden is on you to give us an alternative that, okay, despite the fact that we are advocating for marijuana, now at the end of the day, do we have a solution that will come, or do we have a solution to provide in the case of its short-term and long-term effects?
First of all, I want to appreciate the fact that both teams were able to listen in and try to rectify some of the shortcomings of the earlier debate. Now, I'll first start with the fourth speakers. Dear fourth speakers, please, let us stick to our roles. Are we together? When you come as a fourth speaker and you start introducing points of argument, no one is scoring those points. No judge is actually writing them down. Your work is to cross-examine and weigh in on your case as per the questions you have asked. Are we together? So do not come and ask a few questions, talk about them for 30 seconds, and then start building another what? Case. Are we together, guys? Let's pay attention to that. Other than that, I had no issue with the style of both teams. Now, on that note, I would want to respectfully diverge from what the previous judges have spoken. In terms of, I want to beg that when we look at this resolution, let us appreciate the fact that it is in the arena of the health of citizens. Are we together, guys? We are talking about the health of citizens. In this case, the parameter was Uganda. So now, Team Affirmative, you did a good job in showing us the value of marijuana, the medical potential of marijuana, the studies that are being done, and how many illnesses could be cured, and some symptoms that can be suppressed. That was an excellent job. But when we come down to your burden as a team, more so in a case like this, Team Affirmative, we are looking at the lives of people, health, and medicines. By that, your work is not just to show us the value, but also now the effects that come with this implementation. Are we together? Because if you're telling us that this is how much good we can enjoy if we legalize marijuana for medical purposes, now what about the effects, the negatives that are going to come with it? You have got to account for every single one of those effects. Are we together? Do not leave them out, because you have built a good case. You've showed us the value of the medical value of the marijuana, but that is not enough to push us to legalize it. Because at the end of the day, we are still dealing with the health of citizens. What are we supposed to do when the massive effects now kick in? Because much as we want to utilize the benefits, you have still got to have a way out when it comes to the effects. At least show us how are you mitigating them. Are we together?
So, this was a very good debate. Team Affirmative, you have the burden of proof beyond reasonable doubt. And it is at that point that I personally departed my judgment from the previous judges. Team Affirmative, you came up and mentioned us curing an addiction and us curing cancer is not the same thing. You stating that, and yet you were telling us that people are going to consume marijuana for medicinal purposes, and you guaranteed to us that they will not be addicted to it. And you will even use police to be able to arrest people who abuse the marijuana. And go ahead to tell us that you will cure an addiction, yet you're guaranteeing to us that there will be no addiction. First of all, it was contradictory. Second of all, it was inhuman of you, because you're telling us that you're caring about the health sector, yet furthermore you said someone is getting addicted to something good, so you're beautifying what? Consumption, abuse of marijuana. Personally, when those two statements were said, my mind, I questioned your what? Your work plan. And like I said, beyond reasonable doubt, because that is your what? Your role as Team Affirmative. Moving on, Team Negative mentioned to you that there are other what? Alternatives. Why are we looking at what? Why are we looking at marijuana alone? And I would credit you for actually pointing out that what? That no, these other alternatives you're giving us are not as useful as what? As marijuana. Marijuana is what? More effective. However, Team Negative came up and told you the advantages of marijuana cannot outweigh the disadvantages of marijuana. And then they asked various questions. They asked you, how are you going to refine it? That was not answered from the first to the last. If you refine it, will it still be effective? Those were questions that were what? Left unanswered. And then the last nail to the coffin for me was when they actually pointed out that no, because your entire anthem, you preach that marijuana is curing diseases and all that. They came up and told you, no, marijuana does not actually cure cancer. Marijuana is used to actually take away the pains of chemotherapy. Therefore, even that curing of diseases was watered down.
So thank you so much. To be sincere, I'm seeing some improvement. And I even tried to talk to my colleague here about the fourth speakers. And that's where I'll go and base my things from. As an farmer, having a burden of proof, what do we mean? You have to substantiate everything, and leaving anything outside the box means you're putting your whole plan in a risk. You see, when you don't answer some question and rebut them, at the end of the day, trust me, they can kill you. Or if the negators, they are there, they might forget. But if you find a good negator, trust me, they'll pinpoint it and they will kill you from your first speaker. So, going to my points, where I differentiated everything, and I seem more persuaded, not persuaded that way much, but I seem more to the Team Affirmative's plan of legalization. What did they talk about? Regulation and licensing. However, team negators also had a good plan to just ban it completely and no one to be seen using the drugs, which is very okay. Now, the fact is that since our parliament, we dance to the tunes of Uganda becoming our perimeters. Since our parliament already tabled this thing and already has passed that test of the parliament, to me, being persuaded by that already there is something starting, there is something on the ground. It's just awaiting the president to put a signature, if it's so be. So, with that, this is one. With that, I gave my marks like this. I gave 14 to team affirmative, that is in style. All of you got 14. I saw a good improvement. Trust me. The way we taught you speaker roles, how you come on stage, how you perform, your voice projections, they're fine. Content, guys, you had content, the team affirmative, that is where you brought the issues of NDA, you brought the issues of studies of 2021. I felt persuaded. So I gave team affirmative 27, I gave team negators 25. Team negators, you had also good content. I'm not saying that you had no good content. Now, where problems come and all things differentiate is in strategy. You giving me licensing, legalizing, and sensitizing the masses that you know what? The effectiveness is we can use this and that and make it effective. Same to team negators. Now, in totality, team affirmative to my side, they have a 69. Team negators have a 64. Now, among the average and total, team affirmative have 62.5%, which is just close to 63%, and team negators have a 61%. Is of this, the team affirmative have the day is not a unanimous judgment, it's 3 against 2. Thank you.